Speak like this, and you'll never be just a friend again. She won't ghost you. She won't play you. She won't treat you like a backup plan, because the way you speak will show her something she rarely sees in a man today: power, purpose, direction. And when you speak from this place, everything changes. Women chase, people respect, and you stop living a life where you're constantly trying to prove yourself. You're no longer explaining your worth, you're speaking it. Comment, "I speak with purpose," if you're ready to change your life, starting now. Number 1. Lead with purpose. Men waste years chasing women who offer nothing but chaos and confusion, unaware that the very energy they give away freely is the reason they are constantly disrespected, overlooked, and discarded when they show too much need, not realizing that everything changes the moment they begin leading their own life with unshakable direction, speaking only when necessary, choosing words that reflect strength, walking into every room as if they already belong there, creating standards that are not just words but enforced lines of identity. And until a man steps fully into a life that is shaped by vision, order, and intentional living, every word he speaks will be interpreted as a subtle cry for attention, because women are not impressed by kindness, they're impressed by presence, and a man with purpose doesn't ask for space. He takes it without begging, without explaining, and without compromising. And you need to understand that the more aimless you appear, the more women test you, push you, and abandon you, because you are signaling to them that your life is an open field, ready to be manipulated. And when you lead with purpose, you become immune to nonsense. You speak with gravity, you enforce your values without raising your voice, and you don't allow attraction to determine your direction. You evaluate people by how well they fit into the system you've built for your life, and the man who lives this way begins every day knowing what matters, brushing off distractions without emotion, building silently while others are performing, keeping his peace as a prized possession. And when he speaks, it carries weight because it's rare, it's considered, and it doesn't seek validation. So if your words have been falling flat, if she's not taking you seriously, if people smile but don't respect you, it's not because they don't like you. It's because they don't feel any direction behind you. And you need to sit down tonight, ask yourself what you truly want, write it out, and stop allowing emotions to decide your priorities. You don't wait to feel like a man of direction. You become one by acting like one, and this means saying no even when you're lonely, leaving situations that offer comfort but kill your ambition, and removing anything that confuses your focus, and that includes people who do not value your time. So stop speaking to prove you're worthy and start building a life that speaks for itself. And if she fits into that life, great. But if not, you walk away without second thoughts, because nothing is more expensive than attention given to the wrong person while your goals rot in the background. And remember this: your purpose isn't a brand, it's a discipline, and your words should always reflect that. And when a man leads with purpose, everything aligns: his time, his words, his energy, and from that place of control, peace, and direction, he becomes a force that no one can ignore. If you're ready to go deeper into this transformation, the Stoic Relationship Blueprint was made for you. It's not just a book. It's a mindset shift wrapped in timeless Stoic principles that will teach you how to lead in your relationships, command respect without ever raising your voice, and finally stop chasing what doesn't value you. And now it's available as an audiobook, so you can absorb this life-changing wisdom while you walk, jog, train, or move through your day. Ask yourself, how long have you put your own growth on pause for people who never earned your effort? How much longer will you delay the version of you that doesn't beg, doesn't break, and doesn't settle? This audiobook is yours for life. Once you have it, no one can take it from you, ever. The link is in the comments. Number 2. Give real compliments. Handing out compliments like currency without value is one of the quickest ways to be seen as weak, because when a man walks into a room and immediately starts telling a woman how beautiful she is, how perfect her smile is, how lucky he is to talk to her, he's not expressing attraction, he's announcing his lower status, he's broadcasting that he has no discernment, that her presence is enough to shake him, and the second she senses that, the game is already over, and there are thousands of men who do this daily, who lead with generic flattery thinking they're making progress, when really they're just giving her more reasons to group them with every other man who can't think beyond her looks. And the harsh truth is, women do not value praise. They don't have to earn. They ignore what is freely given and chase what is rare. So when a man waits, watches, listens, and only speaks when he actually sees something deeper, that's when she notices. Because now the compliment isn't a tactic, it's a reflection of value, of attention, of insight. And this is where everything changes. This is where a man goes from forgettable to unforgettable, from noise to signal, because he's no longer seeking a reaction, he's observing and reflecting truth. And when he says, "You carry yourself like someone who knows what they want," or "There's clarity in how you speak," that's rare. She hears something she doesn't hear every day, and more importantly, she knows he's not saying it to everyone. And this is the key, because high-value men speak to what matters, not what's obvious. And they don't throw compliments just to fill silence. They use them sparingly, strategically, and with absolute certainty. And when this becomes your standard, you find yourself speaking less, thinking more, and watching her respond in ways she never did before, leaning in, asking what you meant, wanting to know more, because she feels seen, not admired. And the difference between being seen and being praised is everything in this dynamic. And the reason so many men lose before the conversation even begins is because they give away all their power in the first few sentences. They show their cards, they validate before evaluating, and then wonder why she pulls back or zones out. And the truth is brutal. It's because she's bored, not impressed. Because she knows flattery is cheap, and unless it's backed by character, by restraint, by standards, it means nothing. So if you really want to separate yourself, start complimenting things that can't be seen on a screen, things that reveal how closely you're paying attention, things that prove you're not like the rest. And when you do this consistently, with intention, you'll stop being just another guy in her notifications and start being the one she actually remembers, the one who made her think, reflect, question. And that's the foundation of connection, not lust, not attention, but deep internal resonance. And that kind of connection starts when a man refuses to use compliments as bait and starts using them as mirrors of what he actually values. Number 3. Tease with confidence. You're on a date. She looks good. The conversation flows. But then she says something sarcastic, maybe tests your confidence with a playful jab, and you freeze or laugh nervously, unsure of what to say. And in that instant you lose her curiosity, because the energy shifts, and she senses you're trying to please instead of play. And what high-value men do in that moment is they don't flinch. They smile, pause, lean back, and respond with something unexpected like, "You seem like trouble. I might need a helmet," said with calm humor and no emotional spike, because teasing with confidence is an art. It's not about attacking or defending. It's about setting the tone. And the tone of a man who cannot be rattled is irresistible, especially in a world full of men who crumble under even the lightest feminine pressure. And if you learn how to take her challenges and flip them into banter, you move from being tested to being chased, because now you're not just confident, you're entertaining, and she's not used to being the one trying to keep up, and the game flips. And this doesn't happen when you memorize lines or rehearse responses. It happens when you stop taking her too seriously and realize that her tests are not about disrespect, they're about curiosity. She wants to know if you're the kind of man who folds under pressure or fires back with charm. And the men who always pass that test are the ones who are grounded in who they are. They don't need the interaction to go well. They don't need her to smile or approve. They enjoy the dance, and they use teasing as a way to showcase strength without ever raising their voice or stepping out of frame. And in every social setting, from first dates to long-term dynamics, the man who knows how to keep a woman on her toes through subtle, playful remarks, calibrated pauses, and unexpected twists becomes unforgettable. And it's not because he's the loudest or the flashiest. It's because he carries that energy of calm chaos, the kind of energy that can't be bought, the kind that says, "You're not the only one with options." And this energy makes her feel alive, seen, and a little challenged, which is exactly what stirs her attraction on a primal level. And you have to remember that teasing isn't cruelty, it's clarity delivered with charm. It's saying, "You're fun to talk to, I didn't expect that," with a half smile that makes her wonder what you really think. And every time you shift the frame from chasing to evaluating, from proving to playing, you take control of the emotional tempo. And if you ever want to make a woman think about you when you're not there, tease her once in a way that makes her second-guess everything she thought about herself. Challenge her ego without being harsh, and then go back to being calm and slightly distant. And she'll think about it for hours, days, because women remember how you made them feel, not what you said. And when your teasing builds curiosity instead of confusion, she feels like she has to win you. And that feeling is everything in the dating dynamic. It turns cold, women warm, and makes warm women burn. And none of this happens if you're afraid to offend, because the truth is, soft men get ignored, cautious men get used, and overly polite men get replaced. But a man who teases with calm certainty gets remembered, respected, and pursued, not because he's arrogant, but because he shows her that her beauty doesn't make him blink. And that's what separates the rare few from the many who text all night and still get ghosted, because teasing done right communicates value, confidence, emotional mastery, and high standards, all without saying a word about status or success. And if you're tired of being the guy she talks to but never thinks about, then become the man who isn't afraid to play with fire and never gets burned. Number 4. Set your standards. Having no standards is the fastest way to lose respect from every person you meet, especially women who claim to want nice guys but never stay with them, because when everything is allowed, nothing is respected. And most men don't understand that every time they tolerate flaky behavior, every time they stay quiet when disrespected, every time they reward bad energy with more effort, they kill their value and teach people how to use them, not love them. And high-value men don't raise their voice or argue about loyalty. They simply stop showing up, because enforcing standards isn't loud, it's consistent. And if she's always late, always texting dry, always half-invested, then why are you fully invested? Because energy is currency, and you're bankrupting yourself over someone who isn't even trying. And when a man starts living by principle, not emotion, everything shifts. Suddenly he doesn't entertain low-effort attention. He doesn't chase apologies that never come. He just moves with clarity. And the most powerful sentence you can ever say in silence is, "That's not enough for me." And walk away, not out of bitterness, but out of discipline, because leadership means knowing where your line is and never erasing it just to feel loved for a minute. And most men today are starving for affection, so they bend every rule they set the moment she gives them a little warmth. And that's why they lose her so fast, because she sees right through it. She senses that his yes means nothing, that his boundaries bend under pressure, and while she may like the attention short-term, she will never respect it long-term. And this is why standards aren't about what you demand from others. They're about what you refuse to tolerate in yourself. And the hard truth is, you attract what you accept. And if you keep accepting half love, half effort, half respect, then that's all you'll ever receive. So if you want to change your life, start saying no more often and mean it, even when it hurts, even when it's lonely, even when it means losing people who once meant everything to you, because every yes you say to something that disrespects your values is a no to your own growth, and no woman, no friendship, no paycheck is worth losing your sense of self. So let her call you cold, let them call you difficult. Let people misunderstand you, because when your standards are high, your circle gets smaller, but your peace gets deeper. And that's the trade only real men are willing to make, not because they enjoy isolation, but because they finally realize that not everyone deserves access to their time, their energy, or their space. And if you want a life of clarity, build walls around your values, not to keep others out, but to keep your focus in. And when you do that, you stop chasing what drains you and start attracting what aligns with you. Number 5. Stay calm always. No reaction is louder than silence when used correctly, because when a woman raises her tone, throws little emotional jabs, tests your patience, or pulls away to see if you chase, the man who remains calm gains all the power, not because he's emotionless, but because he refuses to be manipulated by impulsive behavior disguised as passion. And in today's world where emotional chaos is glamorized, men who can control their tongue, their tone, and their time are rare. And that rarity breeds respect, and every time you match her energy, yell back, over-explain, or try to fix her mood, you show her she's leading the emotional rhythm of the relationship. And that's when attraction dies. Because no woman can respect a man she can control emotionally, and staying calm isn't passive. It's power in its purest form. It's choosing clarity over reaction. It's watching the situation unfold without needing to jump into every emotional current she throws your way. And the most attractive men on the planet are not the loudest. They are the ones who speak the least during chaos, but move the fastest when boundaries are crossed. And if she pushes your buttons and you shut down or explode, she learns she owns your emotional response. But if she tries to trigger you and you remain steady, kind, unmoved, you teach her that your emotions are not for sale. And that is when she leans in, when she becomes curious, when she starts questioning her own behavior, not because you punished her, but because you refused to reward her chaos. And every time you walk away instead of yelling back, every time you hold your ground without needing to prove your point, every time you stay rooted in your own logic and values while others beg for approval, you rise above the noise and become unforgettable, because emotional control is the edge that separates men who get played from men who get chosen, not for a night, but for life. And if you are the man who can keep his voice low when others scream, who can slow down when others rush, who can walk away when others beg, you become rare, and rare is valuable. And in relationships, the rarest thing a woman finds is a man who won't let her emotional swings dictate his day, his focus, or his self-worth. And in practice this means you don't argue through text. You don't write essays to explain why you're upset. You don't try to fix her attitude to keep the peace. You let her feel her feelings while you continue to live by your principles. And if she matches you, you build something strong. But if she resents your calm, she was never ready for the man you are becoming, because peace is expensive, and it requires you to give up the need to always be understood, always be liked, always be right. And when you master that, your presence will shift every room you walk into, because the man who is calm is the man who can lead, and the man who can lead is the man who never needs to beg. Number 6. Be hard to get. Availability destroys desire when it's given without cost. And no matter how much a man tries to be present, loving, available, consistent, thoughtful, none of it matters if he is always accessible, because when your presence has no price, it loses value. And most men think being constantly available shows loyalty, but all it shows is that you have nothing else going on. And the truth is, a man who has no ambition, no schedule, no challenge for himself, becomes easy to reach, easy to use, and easy to forget. And the harsh reality is, women are attracted to movement, to momentum, to mission, not comfort. And the more time you give to someone who hasn't earned it, the faster they will drain your energy, your confidence, your drive. And this is why the man who is building something is always more attractive than the man who is just waiting for attention. Because when a man becomes hard to get, not by playing games but by living a full life, everything shifts. Suddenly she has to earn access. She has to reach out first. She has to wonder what he's doing. Not because he's hiding, but because he's genuinely busy creating value. And this kind of man doesn't ghost or ignore out of manipulation. He simply prioritizes what feeds his growth. And women notice. They notice when your texts slow down, not because you're losing interest, but because you're gaining vision. They notice when you don't reply instantly because your mind is elsewhere, building, planning, evolving, and nothing makes a woman more curious than a man she cannot predict. And this is what being hard to get truly means, not disappearing but being rare. And rarity is the foundation of respect, because respect isn't given to the man who is always around. It's given to the man who is scarce but powerful, distant but intentional, unavailable but present when it matters. And the minute you stop prioritizing constant access and start prioritizing personal development, you create a new dynamic, one where she chases, not because you're ignoring her, but because she wants to be part of something bigger than herself. And if you are always available, always free, always ready to entertain her every emotion, then she has no reason to invest, no reason to pursue, no reason to see you as anything more than another temporary distraction. So become the man who has things to do, places to go, goals to accomplish, and let her wonder, let her think, let her miss you, not because you're playing her, but because you're choosing you. And in that space you grow stronger, sharper, and more grounded. And when you return, you don't come back needing her. You come back with value, with experience, with presence. And now she sees the difference. She sees that you're no longer available just to talk. You're available when it aligns. And that boundary alone is enough to make her respect you on a deeper level, not because you said it, but because you lived it. And once a man realizes that access to him must be earned, he stops seeking validation and starts attracting it, and the game changes permanently. Everything you've just heard won't matter if you don't act. Society would rather you stay weak, emotionally unstable, easy to control, endlessly chasing women who laugh behind your back. And most men will die that way, but not you, not if you choose to break out now. The Stoic relationship blueprint is the wake-up call you've been searching for, packed with timeless Stoic principles that will shift how you see yourself, women, and life. And now, you can even listen to the audiobook version while you walk, jog, or train, transforming your mindset on the move. This is an armor for your mind. Comment, "I choose power over approval," if you're done playing a game you were never meant to win. Grab the audiobook now, linked in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and help more men escape the cycle and save themselves years of regret.